Welcome back to the Heater Dynasty Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Heater, your one-stop shop for all your fantasy football needs. Today we're going to be looking at Week 8, Thursday Night Football Showdown slate between the Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Chargers. We've got an over-under of 44.5, and the Chargers are laying 3.5 points today as the favorite. And unfortunately, my roster percentages are not loading properly right now, so we're going to have to go off of a little bit more storyline today, a little less projection narrative, but hopefully that'll clear up by the end of the day. So if you are utilizing my tool, you'll be able to see those there. It's going to be on my Patreon. You can get a week pass for $5. You get access to all 4 slates this week, the classic slate, the Thursday night football slate, the Sunday night football slate, and then we finally have a normal Monday night football again. So that's the slate for this week. Or if you just want to jump full in, $15 gets you access for the whole season right here. Or you can also do that on my Etsy. But without getting too down in the weeds, let's get into this slate here. So the first things that I'm noticing are, obviously we don't have the flex percentages or the captain percentages loaded very well yet. I do have a couple of flex percentages that I got from another source, but my main source is down at the moment. But we move forward, we go on, we'll be all right. I think for the most part I can kind of give you a sense of what I think they will end up being, because they do seem to be a little bit more consistent week over week now that we're in Week 8. But the news that we've gotten tonight, Carson Wentz is starting, J.J. McCarthy is going to be out. News that we're still waiting to hear is whether or not Aaron Jones is going to play. So if Aaron Jones does not play, Jordan Mason will be getting the majority of the work, as well as Xavier Scott would be their backup option down here at 3,200. So there are definitely a lot of pieces that we're still waiting on. So today's episode is going to be a little bit more about if this, then that kind of a mentality, okay? So, but hopefully we can at least get an impression to get started of what we're looking at here. So if we are looking at captain options today, we need to think through what kind of offense are we going to see from these two teams today. What we've seen so far from the Chargers is that their running game has not been great. They would love to rely on the running game, but they have had to rely on the passing game a lot more. There are 3 main weapons for the Chargers' passing offense. You've got Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey, and Quentin Johnson. And as you can tell, they're priced all in the exact same spot. So it's going to be a little bit challenging to get multiples of these. If you were to put Justin Herbert as your captain and then bring it back with one of these guys, you're probably going to have to get 1, maybe 2, but it's going to make the rest of your roster really tight, and you're going to have to punt more than you want to. One person that I think is very interesting that just broke out this last week was Orlando Gadsden, the tight end, the rookie tight end for them. He had an amazing game last week. And he's only at 5,800. So he might be someone that you need on this slate regardless of what you're doing. So if you're choosing one of the studs with him in a Justin Herbert stack, and then probably bringing it back with at least one of the kickers. But yeah, so I mean the over-under isn't super high. 44.5 means that anything's in play here. I do think this game kind of does have some shootout potential. However, I do think that the Vikings are going to try to control the clock, slow the game down, and keep the Chargers' offense off the field. Obviously, we know the Chargers have a solid defense, so that's going to be a challenging task for the Vikings. But we know that Carson Wentz will be the quarterback, and he has both of his targets back. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison has been that way for a couple weeks now. And like I said, Jordan Mason will be the one most likely carrying a lot of the brunt of the work. Where I stand right now, Aaron Jones, if he's back, you have to keep him in consideration. But you can kind of tell by the pricing that they're not sure that he is back. With Jordan Mason being at 8,600, Aaron Jones at 6,600, I am almost thinking that they're leaning a little bit more away from him being back. But like I said, we're going to have to wait and see. When we look at this slate, let's look down below and see where, if anywhere, we can get some salary savings that we're comfortable with. So a lot of this down here is just fodder, okay? Like Najee Harris, he's on IR. O'Marion Hampton, currently on IR. Like a lot of these are not even viable options in any capacity. They're not even going to be playing. But if we look at the Chargers tight ends not named why is that name so hard? Arande Gradson. There we go. So Tyler Conklin, Will Dissly. Let's look and see, like, what have they been scoring? So if we're down here, fantasy points per game, Arando Gatson, 12.16. The other ones that we mentioned, Tyler Conklin. So roughly 2 points a game. Tucker Fisk, nothing. Okay. So it doesn't look like they have been highly involved in the offense in any way. So I'm not sure that I really want to go there. What about Keandre Lambert-Smith? I know he's the wide receiver. Yeah, he's not getting involved. All right, so who specific? Jalen Naylor, he does get involved a little bit, so that's a little bit savings for the Viking side, 3,600. Josh Oliver. So if you're looking at the Minnesota tight ends, maybe you have a little bit more flexibility. So really only Will Dissly at 1,600 is a possible tight end alternative for the Chargers that I think I'd be comfortable with. We got Cam Akers. If Aaron Jones is out, maybe a good salary relief because he has been coming in a couple different plays. We saw him throw the touchdown pass in the London game a couple weeks back. So he's definitely involved. If Aaron Jones is back, though, I think he will be the one to miss out. And then Josh Oliver. I think those are the ones that I'm comfortable with. Adam Thielen, I love him to death, but he is old and they're not really utilizing him. Same with Trey Harris. They are using him a little bit as the rookie wide receiver that they've got, but I don't know. So if we're paring down this player pool, let's think about this. This is where it's going to get a little bit more complicated. We got Justin Herbert, Justin Jefferson, Carson Wentz, Jordan Mason. All of these guys. We don't know about Aaron Jones yet. Rondo Gatson and the kickers. Hawkinson, the two defenses, Naylor. Yeah, I'm cool with all those. Xavier Scott, sure. If Aaron Jones is out, we're going to give Aaron Jones this like a little yellow tag. Because if he's in, I think he's very interesting. Definitely have off of Jordan Mason, who really just hasn't been doing much. He's been getting the work, but it hasn't been great. Okay, Tyler Conklin, you could include him if you really wanted to. I don't think we do, though. No, scratch that. We already looked at that. We're not doing that. Who else did we say? We said there's a couple down here. Where's Will Okay, I think that's it. I think that's the crew that we're working with. So, when we're thinking about game stacks here, I think the captain options that make the most sense are Justin Herbert, based on the fact that we're not sure which wide receiver he's going to bring with him. It has been Ladd recently. It was Quentin Johnson before that. And then Keenan Allen has been having solid games as well. So it's a little bit of a crapshoot. So we'll definitely do a Justin Herbert captain stack. And then shoot your shot with any of those wide receivers. We'll say a Lad McConkey stack. That's what I'm leaning towards. If you're leaning more, I do think more people are going to be building for the Chargers here. So if you wanted to be a little contrarian, I think building 4-2 builds in favor of the Vikings would be beneficial to you. So a Justin Jefferson stack would make a lot of sense. You could do Carson Wentz. He's been having to run on the run a little bit more than we thought he would, but it's been working for him. So those are some options. And then if you really wanted to get nasty, you could do a Jordan Mason or an Aaron Jones, depending on who we think will be the starting running back. And then with the script that they are going to try to run out the clock. So I'm going to try that just because I do think that's their best chance to win, is to just really control the game. All right, so we got Jordan Mason. Let's try that one first. We'll throw in the Vikings defense. Both defenses are in play in this for sure. They both have very strong defenses. In this kind of stack, I would say that we have a Justin Herbert bring back because they're going to be playing from behind. We'll stack him with one of his wide receivers. Let's go with Keenan Allen. And then let's throw in... Do we have enough for Justin Jefferson? Yes. And then throw someone... Actually, let's do an interesting one. Let's do Justin Herbert. Let's do a 2-4 Arande Gadsden. I don't know how to spell his name, apparently. Where is it? Oh, Gadsden. There's 2 D's in there. All right, that's the secret. Nope, still missing it. What am I missing? And an O. Okay. There we go. We got there. And now with just over 9K left, we could throw in... Who do we want to throw in for the Chargers? Oh, so we could bring it back with another one. So let's do Lad McConkey. Yeah, so that's an interesting thought process where the Chargers are throwing the ball, and he's got a triple stack with Justin Herbert, and the Vikings have controlled the game, have had some turnovers, and are just controlling the game with Jordan Mason. So that's, I don't know that I like that, but that's an option. Let's do a Lad McConkey stack. We'll do that with Justin Herbert. We will do a 4-2 in favor of the Chargers for this one. So I do think we want to let's do Arande Gadsden. And then let's put in their kicker. Let's go with the Chargers defense. Let's do the Chargers defense. And then we're going to have the Minnesota kicker, which I believe is Will Reichert. Yeah. Both of these kickers are good, are consistent, and both teams utilize them a lot. So I definitely think having 2 kickers is totally fine. And we could just say like Justin Jefferson. So you're going to have to make choices this week on who you're going to fade. You're not going to be able to get all the names in here. Let's try with Justin Herbert. We're going to say that he spread it out a little bit more, so not too many people are coming with him. You're going to want to throw somebody in there with him. So I do think Lad's been the first read as of late. I think I would throw Kamani Vidal in here with this lineup. And then let's bring it back with their kicker. Cameron Dicker. And then I find it hard to leave Justin Jefferson out right now. Carson Wentz has definitely been targeting him. However, if you wanted to fade him and put in Jordan Addison, that was totally doable, which is what it looks like we're going to have to do in a lineup like this. Leave a little bit more salary on the table to work with. And now we have 7,000 And we are going to go to... So this would be one where, let's say, it was an Aaron Jones game. I actually like that. That one's pretty good. Okay. That's our best projection so far. Alrighty. And that's a very conservative estimate for Aaron Jones. If he is playing, he's going to score more than that. Because if he's playing, it's because he's back in full swing. All right. Let's do a Carson Wentz 4-2. Carson Wentz. Vikings 4-2. So Justin Jefferson, Carson Wentz. We'll throw in Aaron Jones. And then let's do their kicker. Then let's bring it back with, I think both quarterbacks make a lot of sense in this game. And then let's do something weird like Will Dissly gets a touchdown, right? Oh, that's too much. Okay, so we're not going to be able to get all these names in here. So let's get off of Aaron Jones. And we're going to have to get a cheap, maybe Naylor. Let's do Jalen Naylor. Save some salary. And then at 4,300, we are able to throw in, who can we throw in for 4,300? Yeah, this one's going to be a little ugly. It's hard to stack this one. So what I would do here is I'll put the Vikings defense and I'll switch this to Cameron Dicker. Oh, that's not going to work. There was a 3,200 player we were interested in, right? Oh, it's Xavier Scott. Okay, we can do that, and we'll say that it was a Aaron Jones is not playing, I think. So I don't necessarily like that one, but it's an option. All right, let's build one more with Carson Wentz before we move on today. So Justin Jefferson, let's give him Jordan Addison as well. We'll say this is more of a shootout kind of a matchup. He's bringing multiple players with him. And then we'll throw in Will Reichard. Let's do both kickers, Cameron Dicker. And then with 6,100 left, this is definitely like more of an onslaught kind of feeling to it. You bring one of the receivers is my guess. Can we fit any of the receivers? Oh, we could do a Rondé Gadsden. I could say he had another big game, but nobody else really got there. So it's a little bit more of a challenging slate, but I like this. This is good. They're making the pricing tighter. And, yeah, hopefully that gives you a little bit of guidelines. I'm sorry I didn't have all the info that I normally do. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's taken a little bit longer to get that info out this week. My guess is it has everything to do with all the different injuries and who's in and who's out. So definitely check out my lineup builder. It will be updated, I promise you, in time for the games. But that's at least a starting place for us. So good luck tonight with the Thursday night showdown. They've been pretty fun so far, and it's been kind of a crapshoot of what to happen. Everything we expected to happen has not been happening, so anything can go. Whatever kind of storyline you think will happen, trust your gut, and hopefully we'll get the right results. All right, I'll see you later.